And good morning, Scotty Ray and Candace on Friday, the 19th.
I'm so glad it's Friday.
So we got, is it 30 or 31 days in this month?
I don't even know that. I have not even looked.
I need to
I look at a calendar every day making appointments, and I can't even tell you that.
31 days.
Okay.
So we're right at that halfway mark there. No, we got less than that.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks.
Drawing the end of the month is drawing near.
I can't believe that. It just
I know. It just like you blink and the month's gone,
And, as a kid, people used to tell you that you'll blink and 10 years go by and you thought, yeah, you ain't living in my life.
Uh-huh.
They do now.
You know that song, Just Blink? Is that the
Kenny
name
Chesney,
of it?
Blink.
Yeah. It's true.
Years fly by, and then what's sad is you start losing friends, and you see that.
Yeah. I see that now. A lot of times friends getting sick, and we haven't, I don't think, well, we did have somebody pass away in the last year, but yeah, I think about my grandparents all the time. How, I wish that when I was younger that I would have
Paid more attention?
Right. I mean, I wish that I'd have took more time, which I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, and I'm thankful for that. But I still wish, I feel like it wasn't enough,
Yeah.
And like my parents and stuff. So, I don't know.
As Scott McQuaig had referenced in his song, you still got a lot of numbers in your phone that of someone who's passed away, and you almost feel guilty of deleting the number of,
I know.
You'll never call them again.
I know.
But I'm not trying to put anybody in a sad mood this morning.
Yeah, we're not.
I got off onto the wrong foot there, I guess.
We're
But
getting sentimental.
Yeah, I don't know why I went there. As I mentioned this morning, by golly, it was cold yesterday.
It was, and it's cold today. It's not going to get above, 50-something?
Today, let's see what we got going on. I've had so many figures go through my head, I want to make sure I say it right. 54, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, we had a pretty good wind that just kept it chilling all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I put on you see that ugly coat hanging over there on the right? That red one?
Oh, that red one?
Yeah, that looks like Santa Claus.
Like some velvet.
Yeah. What that is like a Snuggie coat. And I couldn't find my regular jacket last night. I went across the yard. I was talking about that this morning.
I bet it's warm, though.
It's warm. It's ugly. Woo.
Well, don't nobody care about
You know how they show in them videos where the people sit at the ball games with them things? Don't nobody do that. It was dark.
I would. I don't even care anymore. As long as I'm warm.
So what is the age to where you really quit worrying about what anybody thinks when you look?
I just thought about this the other day because I thought, I put something on and like with my tennis shoes and stuff, and it was the day the weather was so bad. And I thought, I'm dressing comfortable today. I don't even care. But used to, I would have never slapped that on and left the house.
It would have had to have matched.
Right. I mean, things would have had to have been just so. And I'm kind of still like that, but I don't know. Stuff like that doesn't bother me as much anymore. I still want to look decent. That's just in my blood, I think, when I was in junior high school, I was putting makeup on, fixing my hair. I've always been that way. But
Angie tells me I can't leave home with my holy britches on.
Oh, really?
That's just yard work, she says.
Well.
As we get there. And then at some point, and you ought to know this with being a hairdresser, at what point does somebody go, okay, I got gray and I'm okay with it? A
lot of people are doing that now, like after the pandemic stuff, or after everybody was stuck at home and couldn't go get their hair done.
When everybody was ugly.
A lot of people went gray, not by choice, but they had to because they couldn't get their hair done. And so they were just like, I'm not hating it. So I might just try to ease in that direction. A lot of people are. Gray is a popular color right now. There's teenagers bleaching their hair out and toning it a gray color.
Really?
Yeah, they are. So...
but there are, there are some people that would going to be put in the coffin with their hair fixed. They just really want it.
Well, I have instructed everybody that if something happens to me, you better have my makeup and somebody that knows how to put it on me.
Oh, have mercy.
So, anyway, I do want my hair to be fixed. I can't stand, I ain't never understood why some people who do hair and makeup, don't try to make themselves presentable when they're doing somebody else's hair. That drives me insane. But there's people that
kind of slouchy. You say look your best with what your job is. No matter what.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I come up here one morning with a short sleeve shirt on. Miss Gail Gafford jumped all over me, not wearing a button down. She told me I need to look more presentable if I was going to do this. Let's take a moment and talk. That one of the big things that you do in life is invest in a home. And every now and then you get to upgrade, buy a new home. And if it's getting time for that, well, I want you to visit with our friends at Snowden and Company Real Estate here in Meridian. You can call them at 601-453-3937. It is a big investment. And when you get ready to upgrade, you want the absolute most for your home. Talk to the professionals there. Amanda will help you with this. She'll walk you through. She does it every day. You and I don't do that every day, so there's a lot of things that we don't know when it comes to homes.
Right, and there's a lot of questions you want to ask, and I'm sure she can, answer those questions right off. So
whether you're looking for your dream home or you're selling yours, whatever the case is, when it comes time to sell, talk to them first. Let them walk you through the steps. So let them come out. Do a comparison. That's real important to get your the value of your home determined before you put it up for sale. And let somebody know who can reach the masses. They sell houses quickly.
Yes.
She's very good at it. It's customized service from start to finish. They have a marketing strategy, professional quality photos to show your home, and that's what's going to sell your home. You can't go out with a camera with no light and take a picture. It turns people off.
Yeah.
It's like what you said a minute ago of getting all dolled up. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
you got to show your product right.
Right.
And she'll do that. They pay a lot of attention to detail, and that's what in the end matters. See them today. Here's a home that is for sale there. They've trusted them with it. You can see this. Now, they take care of Lauderdale, Kemper, Newton, Neshoba, and Clark counties. They're specialists in these areas here. Many homes to choose from that you're looking at. You can visit them at snowdenrealestate.com. That's a beautiful scene of a yard there.
That is so pretty.
It is. That's one of the homes that they've got up for sale now. 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can do it on Saturday by appointment if you're busy during the week and can't get away. They're closed on Sunday. They're going to go to church just like me and you. But they can help you out 6 days a week there. And it's one of the key things that you do there to get your home the very most for it. See Amanda. She is a designated seller representative and a certified real estate negotiating expert. And what that really means is her husband has never won an argument in the last 3 years because she's really good at what she does. And that's who you want representing you and your product, your home.
You really do, because a home is one of the main investments that you'll have in your life.
It is.
And, you want to take pride in that. So see the people at Snowden and Company and see Amanda.
And I grew up with her, so I know her well. I knew her daddy, her grandparents. They live right by me. Doesn't get any better than that. So if you want trustworthy people, Snowden, they'll take care of you there. Let's see, as we get this morning going, just into before 9 o'clock, we'll get there in just a little bit at the top of the hour. Hope your morning is treating you well. Let's say some good mornings. Joyce Godwin is up, hoping we have a great day. Tiffany Allen, how are you today? As she said.
Happy Friday. That's the truth. I'm ready. I'm ready for the weekend.
So you're going to sit back and enjoy yourself a little bit this weekend?
I'm sure we'll be busy doing something. We're always busy doing something. It's never just a slack moment, ever. So.
Now, Janet Andrews said she hopes everybody has a great weekend. We do, too. Weather, it looks like it'll be cooler over the weekend, so plan on that as we get into next week. Sunshine Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday night, we're going to start getting rain again, and we'll watch Thursday to see if anything develops and becomes severe weather. Too early to tell. There's a little bit of indications of maybe there's something that could happen Thursday. But again, it's still early. We'll watch it, monitor it, and let you know if things, as the old term goes, it goes south. Yeah, we'll go there and let you know should that happen. Also, good morning to Elisa Fisher. How are you doing there? As we get a few things, let's go over a few things that happened on this date. Okay. I'm always a sucker for things like that. It was this time that it got legalization in 1931 to gamble in Las Vegas, Nevada. So a lot of people.
Did they know that was going to be a big?
It took over,
big
didn't
thing.
it?
Yeah.
I'm sure Mafia had something to do with that in the early days. I'm just thinking out loud. In 1957, Elvis put down the $1,000 deposit on this date for Graceland. Paid $102,000 for it.
I've still never been there.
You haven't?
No.
Now, doesn't that look just huge here looking at it? And when you go in, it's not as big as you think.
Really?
The rooms are a little bit smaller than you would think in today's standard. In that time, it was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody
would
had
imagine.
maybe 1,100 square feet, maybe for a house. That was humongous back in the day. But the Jungle Room is something to see. Go there and check that out. The Iraq War began on this date in 2003. Let's see, that happened on another day. Today's birthdays, Bob Kingsley, you remember him, used to the American Country Countdown each weekend?
Yes.
He passed away in 2019. Bruce Willis has a birthday today, and it was Wyatt Earp's birthday. If you were one of those that watched those Westerns, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. You a big Western fan?
I watched a little bit. I'm not a big Western fan.
Don't tell me you hadn't watched Josie Wales with the rest of us 1,000 times.
I have watched, like, the stories about Wyatt Earp and stuff like that. And some of it is pretty interesting to watch.
So what's your favorite Western? Everybody's got one.
I don't know.
Except Candace.
Gunsmoke.
No, I'm talking movies.
I know, but I didn't really watch movies. Now, let's see. Was it 3:10 to Yuma?
I was fist to name that one.
I did buy that movie for my daddy, because he loved Westerns. And so,
that was a great one.
Yeah, he'd sit and just watch them all day long,
But you get into like 3:10 to Yuma, Silverado. That was a good one with Kevin Costner. And then, of course, you're borderline here of Hang 'em High, and then Josie Wales may be the greatest there ever was, in my opinion. I may not be 100% right.
But like as far as like just the ones you'd watch on TV, Gunsmoke was constantly on at my grandparents' house. Every time it come on, it was on the TV.
Followed by Little Joe.
Yeah.
But, it's funny how I guess American tastes have changed, and you just don't see a Western anymore. Yeah. The last Western they attempted, they just really flubbed it up, and that would have been The Lone Ranger, where the Lone Ranger, who wouldn't shoot?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he'd just like fight people. And
they were trying to promote gun violence is what they were up to with Hollywood there.
Yeah.
The Lone Ranger had silver bullets, and he used his gun, folks.
But, all those shows and stuff, I miss seeing, like, Gentle Ben. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember Gentle
I
Ben.
just remember that constantly watching stuff like that and My Three Sons. And
every now and then you can get kind of lost in time, sit down and watch that Me TV and kind of enjoy yourself when time was simpler.
I love it. I love to sit and watch the old shows and stuff. And my son, we were camping one time, and My Three Sons come on.
Yeah.
And he just sat there and watched it. My 6-year-old, he loved it.
Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
I never was a Beaver fan. Did you watch that?
Yes, Leave It to Beaver. Yes, we watched it.
I watched it, but it wasn't one of my more favorite. No, I Dream of Jeannie now. Ooh,
yeah, we watched that. I was constantly, the Brady Bunch, I was constantly watching all that. So, anyway, missed those times, though.
But I think that Me TV is, you can really sit back and watch it and not have to worry about any ugly language. Any show that comes on there is just as...
I just hope they don't start canceling stuff like that. That's going to burn me up.
They're going to find something that Barney done. And it's going to be bad. Yeah. Making headlines this morning, and this goes all across the United States making headlines, is a father and son has been arrested. Even the New York Post, the headline originally, they've tweaked this. They had it as Redneck Father and Son. They've changed that headline since earlier this morning. And then here's the story from LBT out of Jackson, where, from what I'm understanding, they're being charged with a hate crime now. As you dig into this story, this is in Yazoo County. The father and son owned some land on a road. I don't know whether it's dirt road, paved, and it was some kids on a four-wheeler. I believe it was 2 kids. And they owned the land on both sides. They told them to leave. Shots were fired. I don't know whether they were up in the air or if they really did directly shoot. It doesn't get into the details of that in the stories. And then they bumped the back of the four-wheelers with a truck. And so they have been charged with a hate crime for what went on there.
Yeah.
I don't know every detail, but that's the synopsis of what went on. But it is a hate crime being issued on this.
Which, you don't do stuff like that.
No, you don't.
You don't, like, bump the back of somebody's four-wheeler.
Call the cops if it's something serious.
Take it. Do it the right way. If you don't want somebody on your land, call somebody. But
and where they're getting into all of this is, in the state of Mississippi, it's illegal to ride a four-wheeler on a highway, on a road.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that the teens were illegal. There ain't hardly a person that's ever ridden a four-wheeler in the state of Mississippi that hasn't ridden on a public road in some way.
Well,
I have.
Well, I know people shoot up in the air, like somebody roll in their yard. You've heard people shooting up in the anything could happen. You might not intend on, like, bumping the back of a four-wheeler.
That could turn tragedy.
Right. You might not intend on, like, hurting anybody, but it could turn bad in a heartbeat. So
we'll watch this. And, again, Mississippi is getting national news over this.
But at the same time, like, all this rioting in the streets, and I see people, like, throw it. If somebody's there with a camera, like, have you seen this? When the people will be in the streets riding, and they throw, like, a cinder block through a window of a car. One time there was a baby in the back seat and they threw a brick through, they got it on video. That's a hate crime too, to me.
Do you remember
if it's against certain,
You
I don't
remember the guy in New York that was taking his mother to the doctor and
Yes.
drove in and they just swarmed the car?
He
and
was
beat
driving like a BMW
Yeah.
or something, yeah, and they were on the hood and throwing a bike on it. And
They should also be in trouble. I
that's
don't
right.
know what happened.
Everybody needs to be held to the same standards, regardless.
Headed to the governor's desk, I mentioned this earlier this morning, is the teachers in Mississippi may be getting a raise, $1,000 a year. If you break that down, this is what's scary. $19 a week is all that they would be getting. But $19 more a week is that much more into your paycheck.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since they got a raise, and they go through a lot of headache.
I think teachers, law enforcement people, I think they all, firemen, I think they all deserve a better pay than what they get.
Oh, absolutely. Down to EMTs.
For the
EMTs,
job.
It's tough out there.
Right.
So that's what's
Yes,
happening
EMTs.
on a local level there. Those guys that have the scissors that love to cut your clothes off.
Yeah.
That's them. They're first on the scene.
But just think if we didn't have people like that.
I know.
It would be,
And you really have got to love your job.
I got really aggravated yesterday. I saw a
Cutting
video.
your hair or
No,
curling
I
your
saw
own?
a video of
Oh.
Nancy Pelosi. They were talking about people in the medical field and something about that. She said, thank people in the the way we thank the people in the medical field. Well, we're thanking them by letting them keep their jobs. Now, is that not
Is that what she said?
That's what she said. Yes.
No, Nancy. Yeah, that didn't come off right. I don't know what she was trying to say, but it didn't come off good.
Yeah, it did not come off in the right way. It didn't sound like it was intended in any other way but
Right.
the way the video showed. But I just think a lot of times people like that are unappreciated in a lot of ways.
They are.
But they should be utmostly, appreciated. So
They should be. We have a congratulations. I remember the first time I saw this guy. He was a guest on Hannity. And the more you listen to him, he just made such good sense. And this is huge, what's happening in his career. Has one of the biggest podcasts that is out there, and this is going to continue. But with his success and identifying with people, he's going to be taking over the Rush Limbaugh slot. Dan Bongino will take over it. Now, there is a little talk, depending upon which network, because Rush had several different contracts.
Yeah.
Some of them have not made a deal with Dan Bongino just yet, but that is in the working of it. But he gets the slot. I don't know if you've listened lately. They've had a guest host, and they've played a lot of clips from Rush, and it's time to let that.
Yeah.
You need to focus more on what's going on in the news today.
The guest host that they've had, the one that I've been listening to, he does a pretty good job himself. He kind of compares, he uses the same.
I liked
style as Rush.
the British guy. I liked him a little bit more than the other guy that filled in so much.
Yeah, but I like to listen to Dan Bongino, but sometimes I feel like he gets a little too riled up. You know
He
what
gets
I'm saying?
riled.
And he can stay on the same subject the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He does a good job.
He's pulling big numbers.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes for him, because that is a huge step. I liked Rush. Rush never, no pun, he didn't rush into things, over escalate them. I like that. You could understand the way he talked.
Yeah.
So Dan Bongino gets a big deal there for himself there. So you and I brought this up. We've said it many times. Who's running the country? Another flub up yesterday as we go to news of him calling Harris the president.
It makes you think, though.
Behind closed doors.
Right. Do you not kind of feel like he's just there for show and to sign these executive orders that they're just sliding in front of him, everything? Let's see how fast we can get all these signed before we,
And look at this picture, and correct, because maybe I just didn't notice. I was just focused on Trump back in the day. Was, what's his name, always in the background behind?
No, that's what I said the other day. I've never really noticed the vice president being hovering over like she's a.
It's like she could step to the podium immediately if something were to go wrong.
You'd think she's Secret Service if you didn't know.
But am I wrong that Pence didn't do that?
I don't think Pence did that. He might have been over on the side where you couldn't see him, and she's standing like she's in the military.
Oh, yeah.
Stand like a woman ought to stand.
Ladylike is what you're saying.
A lady. Show a class.
Here's the next one. I think if you're honest with yourself, whether you're Republican, you're an independent, or a Democrat, that you would really go, there's no way Joe could handle this. He's been challenged.
Yeah.
Putin has, he made a threat more or less to Putin, and Putin says, come on,
Yeah.
let's debate this live.
Well, he called him a killer and
Yeah.
all this stuff,
And it's not going to happen by any stretch of the imagination. Would he step up and be engaged with him on live television? He would be destroyed.
This is to me, it's an embarrassment to the United States that things are taking place the way they are. I mean, the American people are pretty much in the dark as to what's going on. They don't tell you anything.
You're
you
not.
can't ask him any questions if he's up there speaking, and then they just like snatch him off of there faster than he can walk. I mean, they might as well be dragging him off.
I just don't.
I'm real anxious to see how this press conference is going to go. Is it next Thursday?
Yeah, and I think it's being rehearsed as we speak
Oh,
now.
yeah.
But he can't even hardly talk about popcorn. You imagine what a world leader could throw at him, because a world leader is not going to follow a script, not a good one.
It's really ridiculous.
Now,
I mean,
there is no way that Putin would have challenged Trump. I do not see that. He couldn't have won that one. So that's in the making there. So keep that in mind there. As we go back, somebody said they love watching Andy Griffith. Josie, Les Alexander said that was. Oh, Josie.
I like Andy Griffith too.
Boy, no gun toting Andy. A couple of times he broke it out, and then of course the one bullet. And there are people that just need one bullet and can't put it in the gun. That was always funny. Pam Allewine says she loves Dan Bonagino. So yeah, glad you like that.
I like him too. I wasn't trying to like bash him or anything. I just feel like I like to listen to him. I listen to him all the time.
But I know he does.
I'm glad he's doing better in health.
Yeah, because he had a cancer scare too, didn't he?
He did, and they found that it was like a mass, and it was cancer, and then they found another spot, I think, in his lung or somewhere else, and I think it turned out to be okay. But
that's good.
Yeah.
You saw the argument. I didn't get to watch it live, but Rand Paul got into a big old argument yesterday with Fauci.
He drilled him for sure. Yeah, he was just constantly drilling him because he said, you keep telling everybody to wear a mask, but if they're vaccinated, and he said, if you've been vaccinated, why are you wearing a mask? Is it just for theater? Is it just for show?
Yeah.
And anyway, he just was saying he didn't understand why they kept pushing the mask issue if there's not a mandate. And if everybody's been vaccinated, why can't they go without a mask?
Yeah.
And he kept saying there might be different variants of the virus, like different variants that they're not protected against. So that's
and
why
there
he
he
was
is wearing a
saying.
couple of them there.
But Rand Paul just kept asking him for proof. Where are the facts? Show us scientific proof that we need to stay in a mask. And he couldn't present the proof. All he could say is,
Theory.
yeah, right.
Huh.
So.
And what happens with this, and this all kind of ties together.
Mm-hmm.
They tell us as Americans that we cannot go to church unless everybody has been vaccinated, and you more or less can prove it. Then you can go back to church. They wouldn't let us go to church. They wouldn't let us go into town. They wouldn't let you go into a store without a mask. But yet, at the same time, number one, they're illegal. Number two, they're not wearing masks. They're not being checked. And they're just being let loose to run in the United States. Mm-hmm. What is going to happen as we look at the story here? They admit they're not being tested. When they let them through, when they catch them, they're not being tested whatsoever, and they're catch and release, more or less, into the United States. What happens to us?
I'm going to tell you this. I know that this sounds probably far-fetched, and it probably sounds like I'm trying to be negative. But
all right, Ms.
if
Negative.
if you look at the whole picture, they ran the election with COVID
As the
being
headline.
in their favor. Okay,
The
the fear of COVID was in their favor because that's pretty much, they just kept running that in the ground.
Saying Donald didn't know what he was doing.
As long as they can keep the fear going, they have the upper hand.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good
okay,
point.
so then they're letting all these people in, not vaccinated, you know, probably, I mean, the other day I heard like 1,000 of them had COVID. Well, it only took, what, 1 or 2 people to start a you know, big.
It just shows you
humongous
how in one
avalanche
state touches another state.
Right. Well, if they can keep it going, which sounds horrible because, I mean, that would be awful if it started back up again. But if they could keep things ramped up and going, it's in their favor. You know, plus all these people they're going to get them to a, you know, they're trying to get them because they want the votes when it comes time for the election.
I saw something the other day where they were trying to say there could be a 4th round coming at some point.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to throw that out to keep you.
Right. I mean, they're bringing it on.
But we should not let people into this country without being checked if we as Americans who are citizens have to do that.
I mean,
At the end of the day, that's the truth.
Yeah, you can't even get, I don't think you can even get on a plane and go anywhere unless you have a test maybe or have had a test.
I know that if you have to go anywhere outside of the United States, you have to have a card that says I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, okay. Well,
now, I know that they check temperatures before you get on a plane.
So,
but
you know, yesterday I was speaking to somebody who was on a plane with, her daughter had been on a plane, and there was, or somebody that she knew, there were immigrants on the plane. They had some kind of bracelets on with a number on there. Her and her children, the children were acting like wild, crazy. They said that the captain had to like come back there, and the lady who was working on the plane had to come back there and say, you know, you got to do something with them because we're not even going to take off until they're acting right. But I mean, who knows what they could have been sick? Who knows? I don't know. I just think it's
now you didn't say
ridiculous.
jet plane. I'm sitting over here humming "Leave" and on a jet plane. I can't get it out of my head now. Why'd you do that to me?
I don't know.
Who sang that song?
I don't even know.
And John Denver had a song. What was that? I'll think of that. Maybe he wrote that. Yeah, I think that was John Denver, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. I'll check into that in a minute. Candace could care less. You see that look on her face of she's thinking, I was talking about something else, and here you go off into a plane.
I know.
Oh,
Anyway.
have mercy. But that is it. This is more of the cancel culture that we move into in our next story. 2011, how many years ago has that been now? 10 years. Mm-hmm. Say you're a teenager, 17 years old. You make a post on Facebook. Well, it cost this young lady her job from that far back as we look at this. She had been promoted to the editor of Vogue, Teen Vogue editor. And she had to resign over some remarks that she made on Twitter about Asian. Mm-hmm. And she was a teenager. You know, maybe you post stuff you shouldn't, but should she lose her job over it? She had to resign.
Yeah.
Not saying what she done was right when she was a teenager, but that's years ago. At what point does your past cut off?
Yeah.
You know, and here's a perfect example of that. I read a story not long ago to where the New York, it was a big newspaper that was going to offer criminals the ability to log into the newspaper, and if there was a story of something they had done bad years ago, they could send an email to the newspaper and they would delete that out to where nobody could Google that they had broken the law years ago. Mm-hmm. So if that applies there, how does this happen?
Yeah.
Now, all right, that's not the biggest headline in the world.
No,
but,
no.
I
want to say a whole lot. I could say a whole lot, but I
got you. Do you remember the guy that Trump, the big deal about, we pull up the story, the decorated Green Beret, Trump pardoned over the murder because he thought the guy was a bomb maker. He is not going to be getting back his medals. And the military says because he was not proven innocent. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think the guy should have gotten back.
If you're pardoned, though, aren't you relieved of any?
I would have thought so, too. But they're saying he wasn't proven innocent, and that will probably affect his retirement and, you know, your status, because that's big, all those awards that he'd gotten, that he'd served his country. I wasn't there. I wasn't in his shoes at that moment. Can you imagine? That's one of those things, you're in battle and you have to make that decision. And he thought it was and went forward. So that's one of the stories out there. Kansas is joining Mississippi now. Have you seen this story? They become the fourth state to ban transgender people that's transgender.
Transgender.
Yeah, you couldn't get it out. Playing sports that were born a male. You can't do it. So they've joined Mississippi along with 2 other states.
Good.
So that's out there this morning of what's going on.
I'm glad that there's, more people joining in that, because I know at first I'm sure people were all bashing Mississippi.
Oh, they were.
Tate Reeves for making that decision. I mean, to me, it's a common sense decision.
It is.
Shouldn't take. I don't think it's right at all. I mean, for men to be in women's sports.
Don't be expecting to see that headline coming out of California anytime soon. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen in
They're still
areas
trying
like
to get
New
rid
York.
of their governor over there.
Right.
So.
But Vermont, I doubt they would vote that way either. Just saying. As we look at some more, this is horrible. Always watch where your kids are and what's going on. The mother got attacked in this story also. But a 3-year-old was killed by the neighbor's dogs, 2 pit bulls. If you live by anybody that has pit bulls, keep in mind they're aggressive to begin with.
And there's been a lot of people say, "Oh, they're so sweet,"
and that's the little fellow there.
That's so sad. Oh my gosh, I just don't trust dogs in general. I don't see how you can completely trust them. I've seen people lay babies by a pit bull and take a picture, and I mean, a dog is an animal, and an animal can turn at any time.
That's right. If they're eating, and a kid would know, if a dog is eating something where he considers that his and don't want somebody to touch it, he's going to get aggressive quick.
Or kids, like in general, tend to be on the floor. Sometimes they'll play with a dog and go up to him, like crawling up to him. Well, that dog might see that as being
another dog.
Like you're being aggressive to them, and so.
And I don't know how the dogs got in their yard and all of that, but condolences to the family. And the mother was attacked too. She was trying to stop it, and she was hurt, but the child died.
That would be.
Ooh,
oh my gosh!
I can't. It's really hard to grasp that whole thing of how that went about.
Losing a child in general, it just would be devastating.
It would be.
To have something like that happen, just.
So at the end of the day, watch kids, know where they are if they're out playing, because there's a lot of folks that just open the door. Pay attention to what's around your kids. Lauderdale County Farm Supply is going to be opening up here. Well, they're open right now. They'll open back up in the morning at 7:30 to take care of those needs that you have for the weekend, to get all your stuff going there. And of course, the chicks are back. You can now join my wife and have chickens in the backyard.
I wonder if I just come home with some chickens, you think Kurt would build me a pen to put them in?
Well, he'd have to.
I know.
See?
So that would be the idea.
How many chickens you going to start out with?
Just 3.
See, look at there. And they are some cute little fellas, let me tell you, or little girls.
They are, and they grow super fast.
Yeah.
I can't believe how big y'all have gotten. Since we had them the other day, they were little bit. They're like this big now.
They swelling out, so to speak. But you can, too, have your own eggs right there and not have to worry about going and trying to buy eggs anymore.
That's right.
Do your own. They've got plenty of them to choose from. So come on by. They're all pullet and vaccinated. You can see them at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. And also, maybe you like chickens, but you don't want to feed it every day. Well, let's get you a metal chicken.
I like them. I think they're cute.
And I guess you call this yard decoration is what you would go into this.
Yeah, I saw a cute little sign the other day. It said the hen house. I think I was going to get Angie that to put it out there.
Oh, that's too cute. And, of course, here's a close-up of the chicken there. These are particularly, a lot of people love these for bird houses. I don't know if you've seen those. They've got these also at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Those usually go pretty swift.
Yeah.
Or swift.
You could get you a pig with wings. You ever heard that saying, when pigs fly?
Yeah. They flying down to co-op. See them there this weekend. You can choose from all of that. And as we get into the sheep and the billy goat. Pretty cute there. Yeah.
I like the little yard ornaments. My aunt used to have them all in her front yard, and she lived over on Grandview Avenue. You could drive. She was probably known as, that lady with all them yard ornaments. She had them all over her yard.
Oh, so, they're cute.
They are.
And of course, as we get into the springtime weather, whatever you're needing, they're going to be there tomorrow to help you go through here and pick out exactly the plant for your yard, what you're looking for. Look at that, just tons and tons of this that you can choose from at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. That's a pretty thing there.
It is. I planted some of those last year, and they are really hardy plants.
Really?
I put them in pots, and they're really pretty on the deck. They get tall, and
Yeah.
you can mix them in with other flowers and make a real pretty container.
Everybody needs a fern to hang on that front porch.
They do.
Most of us aren't really good at keeping a fern alive.
I'm getting some ferns this weekend. I'm
It's
going to
gonna
get
happen.
some, yes.
And of course, you can get these little pink fellows there. They're cute too. And as we go through this, your fruit trees. I can't get some words out today, but fruit trees will help you out there. And if you need sod to get the spring going to get your yard, yep, they've got that. All your insecticides, fertilizer to take care of you. If you need to go outside, they've also got your mulch to take care of that. Still plenty of disinfectant to make sure everything's clean during these times that are going on. Boots to be comfortable to do yard work in, and all of your seed, fertilizer that you may be looking for, along with your horse and cattle feed, and guns galore, along with a little ammo. It's all at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Again, exit 151 off of I-20 is where you need to go see the staff that are, well, they're knowledgeable. They know what they're looking at, and they'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. Let's see here. Let's see if we missed any comments that we hadn't answered here lately. I'm with Candace. Fear is the strong arm. Linda Culpepper says that. And
It is.
And the media plays into this. It's like they
Oh,
all
yeah.
have meetings by the executives behind closed doors. Okay, what are we doing this week?
Well, it's like Rand Paul said, though. People are starting to push back. They're sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to go eat and start, spending time with their families and stuff. And they're tired of being shut up indoors and not being able to go and have a good time with their friends. I'm not saying go out and party and be in like groups of hundreds of people and not have, but I just think it's time to kind of start being with your family again.
I agree.
I mean, I spoke to one of my customers yesterday. She'll be 90 pretty soon.
Yeah.
And her good times that she, had was to get together with her friends and play bridge.
Right.
She hadn't done that in over a year. She sits at home by herself
And
all
you'll
the
never
time
get that
because
back.
she's a widow. She sits at home by herself all the time, doesn't do anything, and that is not good.
No, it's not.
It's not. She needs to have some socialization. She said they're fixing to start their thing back up again, I think, playing. But she said, I don't know if I'm going to go. She's scared to death.
Yeah, because they've put that fear out there.
Yes, and she's been vaccinated, and she's still scared, And so I told her, I said, you need to go. You need to, get with your friends. Because, when you're almost 90,
Live it to the fullest.
that's right. So,
If you got $10, don't leave it to nobody. Go ahead and spend it. Use it. Look, I want you to go ahead and say I'm right. Go ahead and say you're right, Scotty Ray.
Scotty Ray, you are right.
See, there you go. Dean Baskin
Right.
agreed. It was John Denver who had Leave It on a Jet plane. And I thought he wrote that. John, he was a talented fella. I always liked him. Michelle Lewis is up. Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing good today. Elmer Talbert is watching. Also, Sandy Kaz, morning. And Miss Iron Hillman is watching. Also, did I pronounce that right? Iron?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So good morning to you as well. We're glad to have each of you here with us as we go through things that happen here locally, and as we get national news, sometimes it just kind of gets pushed under that you don't hear. I look
Right.
for those kind of stories that intrigue you.
Yeah. And we give our opinion, and sometimes people might not agree with it, but, we give it anyway.
That does happen. I'm not sure, before we mention this next one, I know he's got a lot of money, Tyler Perry. He is like Medea, who I'm talking about, if the name Tyler Perry confuses you. But I think most people have heard of Medea. He's a very rich man. But Kanye West, who we're all talking about, who made friends with Donald there, and then he made we don't know what kind of run for president on his own. But they released how much he is worth. And I knew he had money, but I had no idea. $6.6 billion is what he's worth.
Yeah, I would have never thought that.
He's made tennis shoe deals. He's got his music deals. He's adventured out into a lot of different things.
I think he just split with
Yeah, they get
her,
a
right?
divorce.
that don't even look proportional, her body.
Something don't look right. She's
Is,
one of them Kardashian women.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian.
So, but
Looks like-
yeah,
yeah.
I'm not even gonna go there. But he does tennis shoes. Now that probably wouldn't be something that I would buy.
That just don't look comfortable to me.
It doesn't to me
It
either.
looks like a clam shell on the bottom
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Sold out. The released 450 in cloud white.
What kind of shoe is that?
I don't know. I'd have to get into who all of his different
it's
deals.
different for sure,
Yeah. But he is definitely making a lot of money and listed as one of the richest folks around. So congrats for him. You know, to make it, that's a big deal. Let's see what else we've got shaking this morning in terms of stories. This one, number one, there ain't no way, there ain't enough money in the world. When I say there's not, I have lines that I don't cross, and this is one of them.
Well, you know I ain't going to do this.
I will fly anywhere in the United States, but the moment you start talking about opening up a door and somebody falling out, no, ain't going to happen.
And let's just hope.
No, there's...
That the parachute opens. No.
Now, some people love that thrill that it gives them. Is it adrenaline? Is that what you're...
Yeah. Some people love it. I mean,
I don't
they
do rides at fairs that drop real quick, and then and I wouldn't do the bungee cord thing. Not me.
Yeah.
And this shows you an 18-year-old fella goes up for his first time skydiving and does a video telling his mom that she's standing over looking, hey, I love you, I'm going to do this, hope nothing happens.
Right.
Well, it did happen. The parachute didn't open. That's a little fella right there. Mm-hmm. Jumps out of the airplane. The chute never opened.
It was a place in California that they were at. Yeah, that is awful. But I guess there was a instructor with him.
I think so.
That was it was both of them together. But you know, they should both have a chute on. I'm surprised that one did not open.
His friends made it that went with him. Their chutes worked. It cost
that would be horrible.
Roughly $150 to go jump out of a plane. Not something I want to do. His family has sued. I think they've been awarded. It was $40 million in the lawsuit over it, and I'm sure that got some kind of technical when they done that.
Yeah, I just ain't doing that. I can think of lots of other stuff that.
How long ago was that George Bush in his 80s jumped out? Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I ain't doing it. I just ain't. I'm not. That is not a thrill that I want to. I mean, I get in a plane and I'm just praying the thing lands.
Yeah.
Right. Don't ever think you're going to shove me out the door.
Now, and I'm going to have to go ahead and call it ain't so. If you've ever watched any of those movies, The Fast and the Furious, where they push cars out with the parachutes, and the parachute opens and they land, crank up, and no. I'm going ahead and... It ain't happening. But that would be horrifying to go do something like that.
That is awful, though, for him, you know, his family and all that. That would be devastating. You know, especially if you're sitting down there watching.
Now, Piers Morgan, and he is the guy that came out and talked about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Walked off his job, made over $1 million a year, what he done on there. The network is seeing why it was number one, because when he went there, it was the dog. He built it up, and they became the number one show in Great Britain. He walked off. The ratings have now fell. They've lost a third of the ratings and probably will continue to get beat. So you can probably see the wheels turning. Yeah. Something is fixing to come up for him, a new network, a new gig, a new television show somewhere of the folks in Great Britain that support him. Also making it, he's throwing this out there this morning. And who is Gail King? Do you know who she is?
She's Oprah's best friend.
Okay. Is she on TV or anything?
I think she has, I don't know if she has her own little show or she just interviews people. But I guess she is on the side of the royals.
Yeah, oh yeah, she definitely is. She's leaking secrets and this, that, and the other. And he tells her, stop acting as their PR mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And ask them about their lies to Oprah. He just, he ain't gonna hold back there. I guess this is Gail King here.
Yes, that's her.
I've never watched. So she does something on CBS apparently.
Yes.
That's in the background there.
But she and Oprah were like almost
besties.
Yeah, they were attached at the hip. They'd go on trips together and do all this stuff. So, yeah.
And that's the what he put out there. And, they should, because I'm always seeing her quoting something for them, and I hadn't understood why. Is she that close to him? Maybe. I don't know. But there those two are. And, boy, they're making ripples.
Yeah. I don't know, though, what's going to come of that.
Y'all remember the old Confederate Railroad song, "When you leave that way, you can never go home"? Somebody might ought to send him a digital copy of that so he can listen to that.
Yeah.
Because you can't be doing all of that.
She's expecting again.
Is she?
I think she's expecting another child, I think.
She's making sure she's got ties to the Royals deep.
Yeah.
And she does now. Another one of those little horrifying stories that I wouldn't go near it if I see it. Now, you saw it big time back in the 70s. They always done the chase scenes with the cop. The drawbridge starts going up.
Usually you got a motor attached to whatever you
And so
you're
then
trying to jump over something with.
But a bicyclist, him and his girlfriend apparently go out. He's 58 years old, go out every morning riding, and he tries to beat the drawbridge. And, well, it didn't work out. That was in Miami. He gets caught in between. He's holding on. He's yelling for the guy that operates the bridge to let it down. He can't hear him. And he falls to his death. This is the gentleman there that was riding his bike, took some selfies there.
Why would you even take that chance? People are...
The girlfriend made it. Now, when I say she made it, I don't even know if it was up when she went over it.
Yeah.
But when that splits, it means business.
Right. I mean, you're not going to jump over that on a bike.
No.
Unless you have a motor. And then again, you still might not.
It's going to be a
make it.
rough landing. But that's
Yeah,
the gentleman there
horrible.
that died that way. We hate that. That's one of the stories that is out there this morning. And let's show some more pictures of yesterday, of the last couple of days of severe weather. It happens every year. And this is kind of a collage of pictures of to show you what goes on out there. If you do not believe me that storms are dangerous, and there's some folks that they don't have the fear of weather. Maybe they've never been up close and personal and don't know to respect it. Just never been taught what it will do. It's a very dangerous thing. I even saw a video this week, and I think it was in Alabama. No, but maybe it was South Carolina, where somebody had a drone up and they were doing something else, and the tornado starts coming, and they have drone footage of it, and the lightning tearing up, and you see the debris 10, 12 miles off.
Yeah.
It's just unreal. I need to repost that today.
You'd think the wind would knock the drone.
Yeah, it just wasn't close enough yet. But that was some interesting pictures. As we go to this, let's look at some of these pictures that they've posted from Florida, Georgia. We've seen some of the pictures from here. Totally destroyed that home. Look what's left as you go down through that. And this can happen to you so easily. So when we start talking about severe storms, maybe it has the capability. It doesn't mean that everybody is going to be hit this way, but it does mean that it's the capability.
And these people, some of them have lost everything.
That's right.
I mean, it's just gone, and I feel for these kind of people, these people who are in these situations, but because even if you leave your home, you might come back to nothing. Even if you leave to go take cover, you come home and there's nothing left.
And you can see that lady there just trying to put her life back together.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's like, where do you start?
Yeah, because you think about just what you've got in clothing, what that cost you.
Yeah.
Your dishes in your living room, and you can't just come up with that kind of money to replace everything
I always
you had.
think, which I know this is the way I think, but
okay, thanks.
I always think like, okay, how much insurance have I got? Like seriously, like if something comes, like am I gonna have enough? Am I covered enough?
Yeah.
And so that just goes through my mind. I mean, I know that I'm gonna get out of harm's way if it's possible for me to, and my kids. That's always been a given, but. You got to think about it, though.
We know David Clark, who's kin to me, owns an insurance company in Jackson. He made a post about that yesterday that said when you're haggling about your insurance, if you go cheap, the next time that you worry about it was when you're cheated out of something when your home is hit. If you're trying to skimp and not covering it enough, if your home is destroyed, that's true. Let's see if we've got any other pictures. Here's a good picture of a home here, squished. This gentleman, I want to say, I saw the video to this yesterday at one point. Him and his wife, it was maybe about that big hall closet that they got in together.
Yeah.
And that's all that's left, that little bitty closet right there in the hall. It was like a linen closet, and that's what saved their life. And that's when we say get to the center of your house.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's all that's left is the center of that house. There's a mobile home. Look what it done to that. We're sitting right there, gone. As you look at that, this is Tuscaloosa, Alabama here. And, I've never been to a public shelter, so I don't know what they look like. But that is on the campus of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. People piled in there when the tornado warnings were going off. This gentleman here got behind his recliner. He was in the center of his house, destroyed everything he had. Here's somebody else that lost.
Like that house a while ago, I think.
Yeah, I think that is another picture of the same house. Chilton, Alabama.
That's a brick home. A lot of people feel safer in a brick home, but it can happen to any home.
There was an argument that, and it shocks me. Somebody had posted a picture of a home that was hit, and they said, well, they need to sue the people that built their house because that's a brick house. Just because it just has mortar on the outside. There's not much difference in it than the others. So don't be getting look at that. Just blows me away of how quick this can happen. You're minding your own business one moment, and then that drops out of the sky.
Yeah.
And, that there in the background is a picture of one of them. And you want the safest for you and your family. That's what you do. And that brings to mind my next subject of what we're talking about. Yeah, that right there. And these folks will help you. The Precast Group here in Meridian. If you want to make sure that you're protected, get a storm shelter. And this is what they do. Starting at roughly $4,600, you can get into one. You can call them and talk to them, tell them what you're looking for. They've got the air vents there. They're located out on 145 South. Call them at 482 3 zeros and a 3. That's pretty easy to remember there. Right there on the screen there. And as we go through some of these pictures here, they'll deliver it out, set it exactly where you want it. They can, that thing weighs 20,000 pounds.
So it's an above the ground.
That's one of the above. They've got both. You can pick and choose what you would like to have. But that one above ground weighs 20,000 pounds. They can secure it. That's not going somewhere. Yeah. They're rated. All of that's been taken to Texas and thrown at, and it's survived all of that good stuff. Now, this is an in-ground. If you would rather have that, they offer those also. They can bury them. There's some different pictures here. The Precast Group is who we're talking about. That goes back to putting it on a slab. If you're building a house, you can drop these and make that a closet inside your home, hidden, however you want to do it. If you do it afterwards, you can put it outside.
Yeah.
Here's one that's put in a hill right off the backyard. You can have that done.
That's kind of, my mother's is in the ground, and they have the vent things on the top like that with it's like a hydraulic door. Yeah. That opens and closes. So
you pick which one would best suit you. Talk to them. They can fix you up there, and you'd like it. They can install it in the banks, in the ground, however you want to do it. Again, the Precast Group here in Meridian, that's another view of one that is outside. That's not fully dropped in the ground.
Yeah.
Goes good, and you can do your own landscape and how you want to cover it up, make it look there in your yard. Again, 482-3 is the number to call. That's the Precast Group. It can happen quickly. Again, 601-482-0003 if you need a storm shelter. They'll help you. You'll really like that.
Yeah. That's going to be our next purchase, I hope.
Yeah, that
major purchase.
That gets right up on your list of things to do and things I want.
Yes.
Ooh, let's see here. I've been skydiving. Charlene Gaddy says she's been skydiving twice. There is no way, girl.
I ain't doing it, Charlene. I just ain't.
My heart would be.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm keeping my feet on the ground as much as possible.
I'm making a statement now. You will never catch me up on that top floor of the 3-foot building when they finish it. Really? I ain't going. I have too many nightmares as a kid, that old elevator. And I know they put a new elevator up in there, and I still ain't riding it.
Did you ever go in the elevators in the old March Rothenberg building?
Yeah, that little sweet lady that used to run it had the iron cage. And that's what she done.
And then the Hewlett's building, it's got those in it too. You know, the old Hewlett's furniture building.
I ain't riding either one of them either. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I think I've got a fear of elevators.
I know. I don't like elevators either. I always, when it takes off, that feeling where your heart feels like it, kind of sinks. Like, have you ever had a dream where you're falling? Yeah. It's that feeling,
and I have to really like you to come see you in the hospital because that means I got to ride an elevator.
You can walk the stairs.
I don't like them because courthouses. I had to go to a courthouse not long ago, and it was like the Capitol. Oh my head! Because you can see down. Yeah. And I get dizzy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not so nervous about elevators in the hospital, but old building elevators. Yeah. That scares me.
I got trapped in Anderson's a few years ago in the parking garage when it quit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I had to call them come get me.
You can see all around though in that one. Right?
It don't matter.
It's glass. Right?
I didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be trapped in an elevator. I would probably get real claustrophobic in there.
Last time I was in Nashville, somehow or another, I always ask for the lowest floor, like one. Yeah. They put me on the 22nd floor, and I had to ride that glass elevator up there every time. It was, I held on. I put my head down on the floor, try to make it. You know how they say always face your fears? I ain't facing mine no more. I've done enough of that stuff.
Now, I don't like heights either, but where is it? Is it in, where is it? Seattle, where they have the big restaurant on top that rotates on the top of the...
I ain't heard of that one, but...
Yeah, there's like a sky restaurant or something, and you sit in it, and it's rotating the whole time around this. Now, that would be neat.
I went up to the Golden Moon top once, not doing that again either.
Oh, really?
I had my fill of that. And when and I remember going back, and it was pretty cool. It didn't scare me as bad. When Chief Philip Martin was there, Chief was really good to us. And, he had a private suite over at the Silver Star with the gold handles. It was something else in that room up there. But it was on the very top floor, and that elevator seemed okay.
Yeah.
I guess because it was blocked and I couldn't see stuff. But that is a huge fear of mine that I'm figuring out while we're sitting here talking.
Yeah, I don't like heights either, but anyway.
Let's see. Helen Stubberfield says she loves riding in an airplane. Doesn't bother me a bit. I'm with you on that. I like that. Shirley,
I can't believe you like riding in an airplane if you don't
Love
like
it.
heights.
doesn't bother me.
I'm in a box with a couple of engines on it shooting through the air.
But it just shows you how weird, and it's a mind thing of how your mind can. But I'm telling y'all, it goes back to my mama, her drilling it in my head that I was scared of that, and I didn't even know to be scared. But boy, it worked. I'm terrified now. Let's see. Danny Wayne Bullock says he went skydiving when I was 52 years old. I loved it. Would go every weekend if it didn't cost so much. What's going on my 70th birthday? Couldn't afford it.
I know a lot of people who say they love it, but what if? What if? I mean,
It's splat.
yeah.
Just
What if your parachute just don't open? I mean, that would be the worst.
Now, the video that you watch from that stuff, it's like a slow descent. That's what it looks like. But
Yeah, until
in my head, it's...
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Because isn't it if you throw a penny off of the Empire State Building, it'd make a hole in the ground? Isn't that what they
Probably.
say?
I mean, I would
The
imagine.
force.
I'd imagine so.
Lord
The
have
Space
mercy.
Needle. That's what that is.
The name of the...
The restaurant that has
Oh.
in Seattle, Washington.
Okay. Well, I've been to the Opryland Hotel, and they have a rotating bar. It's on the ground.
Oh, on the ground. But they rotating around. Like on the,
Yeah, but it'll confuse you. You sit down to eat and you don't even know it, and you keep thinking the room is moving, and it just.
can you imagine if it's a rotating bar and you've had like way too much to drink?
Yeah, that'd make you.
That would be really bad. You rotating around. Ooh.
But a few thoughts, and congratulations to y'all that really. Damon says that's false on the penny.
Well, even if it didn't knock a hole in the ground, I would hate to be on the receiving end of a penny, like with my head or something.
But y'all have heard that, I'm sure, before that if
Yeah.
you were to throw it. Okay, so that's been
that would be awful.
debunked. Is that the word for it?
Yeah. Yep.
But I will never go up there to find out.
Yeah. Me either. I won't be going there.
A man's, as Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. I happen to know mine.
Well, I know we've talked about going places that have like those long bridges, like
Yeah.
the wooden swinging bridges,
You ain't doing that either.
I can't. I would probably one crawling out on it. I just couldn't do it.
So how are you at Stuckey's Bridge? Does that bother you?
I've not been to Stuckey's Bridge. I've seen it.
Because it's got the wood on the thing. It's metal,
Yeah.
but it's got the wood planks
It's
in the
not
middle.
real high up though, is it?
No, but you'd still fall.
Yeah. I'm not bad with like a bridge that's not super high up, but we're talking about stories.
Now, I
Like
remember...
condos at the beach where you look over the edge and you feel like you're just going
Yeah, let's don't
to get
talk about
dizzy and
condos.
topple over.
It takes me generally an hour to get to a room in a condo.
Really?
Yeah, because I hug the wall and I just inch down the wall, slide a little at a time. Oh, they give me a hard time about all that. And that's why I don't like going to the beach. I'll be honest about it. Ground is where I want to be.
Yeah. Well.
So, small thoughts from Scotty Ray this morning. And Candace is going to be the hero here. Can go to heights more than I can.
Somebody says they're terrified of heights.
That's why I have a 3-rung rule. If I have to go higher than the 3rd rung, I'm hiring someone. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know what it is, but my balance, is that something to do with you? I cannot walk a straight line. I do this. So I don't drink, but if I were to be pulled over, I would fail that sobriety test because I literally cannot walk a line.
Yeah.
I just doop, 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 doop. And as a kid, when I first started hunting, I'd get lost a lot because I wouldn't go back the same route because I constantly drifted.
Yeah.
So it's a weird. It has something to do with your ears, I think.
Inner ears or something.
Yeah, and the higher I get, the more dizzy I get. And it, woo.
Goodness.
Okay, enough about all that. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd share that. But thank y'all for coming by this morning and spending a few minutes with us. It was an enjoyable morning. The weekend is here. Can you believe that?
I'm ready. I want to do something like in my yard. I don't know.
Like mow it? That's what your husband said.
I mowed a little bit of it the other day.
Yeah.
You know, I got some done. It looked better. You know, got rid of all the little white flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
And that popped up in the yard.
Y'all look out. We're up to 49 degrees with a wind chill of 46 now. Brr.
Well, it was warmer, I thought, when I got up. It's
40 some.
Yeah.
And generally, you know, you'll have a temperature higher, and then right at daylight, it'll start going down. We're going to get to 54 mostly this weekend. So keep that in mind as you're planning and doing what you got. We got rain coming in on Tuesday. We'll watch the weather come Thursday to see if there's any developments of that, of turning ugly for us. We'll watch it very closely.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be a pretty weekend.
Yeah, me too.
You know, even if it's a little cooler, I can handle that.
We got sunshine this weekend. Again, recapping tomorrow, we've got a high of 62, a little gusty, 20-mile-an-hour gust as we get into Saturday night, 37. That's going to be cold. So if you got plants that you just bought that you're, watch that.
Yeah.
As you go into Sunday, our high is going to be a little warmer, 67 and 42 that night when you get to go to work on Monday. But then we're back to 72 on Monday, and things will start heating up with rain moving in. Did I leave any days off that needed to be covered?
I don't think so.
Okay. I appreciate it. You got a bunch of hair to do today?
I'm busy till about 3 today, so yeah, I'll be busy.
And if somebody wanted to get a haircut from you, how do they go about?
You can call 482-5800. That's at Voila Salon, or you can get in touch with me. Send me a message on Facebook, or just call that number and ask for me. Or we have Jennifer, Lacey, Amber, and also Angela. So there's 5 of us there that are willing to help you at any time. Just give us a call. We take walk-ins. It's hair care for the entire family, and we're there Tuesday through Saturday.
There you go. If you need your hair done, that's the ladies to go see. They will help you. Again, thank you so much for being a part of it. As always, like, share, invite your friends to come hang out with us. As weather breaks out, you'll really want to be. And we give you a laugh or two every once in a while in the mornings to listen to.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy that. We'll be back. Have a great weekend. I'll see you at some time either today or first thing in the morning. And we'll have continuous updates of what's going on across America here with Scotty Ray's Weather along with Candace. Whoops.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by